Welcome to Silicon Valley Asian Business Talk.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rajat Chen, a professor at the University of San Francisco Center for Business Studies and Innovation in Asia Pacific, and short for CBSI AP. Today, first, we want to thank the Facebook House for hosting this event. This is a very, very special venue for us to do this interview. And we also want to thank you, Raj, for coming to our interview program. And would you please briefly introduce yourself before we start the conversation?
Yeah, thanks, Roger, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. So I'll give a quick introduction about myself. I'm originally born in Toronto, Canada. I grew up around the world in different countries, Abu Dhabi and UK. Parents originally came from India. And I went to Waterloo undergrad, did engineering and economics there. In my last year, Waterloo is where I came up with the idea for the company that eventually became Lyft, and started working with my co-founders there, Logan, John, and other folks. I also got into this program in the US. It's a PhD MBA program at MIT, very unique program. Only 4 people in the world were accepted into it. So I felt, it was a great opportunity. It was a full ride at MIT. I started my program there at MIT, but I realized it was nothing compared to the thrill of startup. So I dropped out, and began working, on my entrepreneurial career. And this was in 2008, the absolute bottom of the stock market, the biggest part of the recession in the fall. Everyone thought I was absolutely crazy, but I was ready to be hopeless. I was ready to do whatever I needed to do to make this, make startups work. And it turned out to be a great time to start a company. And so that's how it started. I started another company called Presto, which became the market leader for AI and automation in the restaurant space, working with big restaurant chains like Applebee's and Chili's, Denny's, Red Lobster, Del Taco, and Jack in the Box, those types of big
And you eventually went for a public,
I went public in 2022. And I left shortly thereafter, and since then I've started 2 new companies. One is called Lima, which is a mission-driven organization I've started with my wife to help skilled immigrants come to the U.S. So we help skilled immigrants with every part of their journey to get visas and green cards, because the immigration system in the U.S. is a nightmare, and I know this as an immigrant myself, and having a lot of immigrants working for me. And then I also started another company, which is back to my tech roots. It's called Tribe. It's the next generation group chat platform. It's what I think is going to be next after WhatsApp, after WeChat, after all these legacy platforms, which are over 10 years old at this point. And so we're trying to reinvent group chat and really focusing on building closer communities online on your phone. So yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. I also have a podcast called Founders in Arms, and I do this with the CEO and founder of Mercury, Imad Akut. We talk to different founders every week. We've had some great people on. We had Aaron Levy last week from Box. We had Paul English from Kayak. A lot of great people coming on the podcast, and something I enjoy doing to contribute back to the community.
Thank you very much.
Q&A with Rajat Suri on startup development.
Actually, we can open this up for any kind of questions you want to ask, Raj, about anything relating to innovation, entrepreneurship kind of stuff. Maybe kind of speak louder so that the video can capture it.
So I am starting a company, but it's bootstrapping. And
Bootstrapping, yeah.
how can I, as an immigrant, solve these visa issues with such kind of because we have investor interested, but we don't want to take the money now. We have enough to build for 3 months. So what options do I have, and how can Lima help?
Okay. Well, there's two separate things. One is visa, which we can help with. We can help you get O1, EB1, EB2 visas. We have a specialty in the visa situation. So if anyone has visa issues or green card issues, we'll help with the whole thing. So we have a service for that. You can just reach out to me at raj@limadream.com or go to limadream.com and sign up there. And then, for the bootstrapping, bootstrapping is a good way to go. I really encourage founders to think very deeply about how they can raise customer financing, which I call organic financing, versus inorganic financing, which is VC. I actually written an essay about this. The only sort of startup essay I wrote, it's on Substack, I can send it to you guys. But it's like It's about organic financing versus inorganic financing. And organic financing is healthy financing. That's when customers pay you to develop a product, right? That means that customers have a problem that's so big that they're willing to pay for it. And you can actually get money from customers even before you build the problem. Because you can just go and talk to them and say like, hey, you know, is this a problem for you? They're like, yeah, it's a problem for me. And then you could show some screenshots of it. And I say like, okay, well, here's the screenshots of like what it would look like. Would you be willing to pay $20,000, $30,000? All you need to get a product off the ground, right? And then you can get 2 or 3 of those customers, and you're off and running. You got 100K financing.
That's true, and also that's a more powerful market message.
Way more powerful.
That's right. These are facts.
Yeah, way more powerful. And by the way, customers are the ones who have the problem. VCs don't have the problem. Like for VCs, like we don't want many. One of many fish in the sea, and they make their decisions based on a whole bunch of random factors. So they just take up your time. The customer is actually that time is well spent. They care about you because they're going to solve one of the problems. So I always encourage for B2B businesses to pour into raise money from customers if you can. I think a good salesperson should be able to even get millions upfront without writing around the code.
Maybe just speak louder, and also maybe introduce yourself so that our audience, our video can capture that. Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
David, just to introduce, I'm doing the AI agent for professional working.
AI agent for professional.
Networking.
That's a startup company, right?
I'm also from Water.
Oh, cool.
I take a triple degree in Water, software engineering, statistics, and courses.
Oh, all easy stuff.
Yeah, I saw you do the due degrees.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah, I'm class 2017.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
Great.
So, yeah, so my question is, and for your startup journeys, and yeah, so what's the most difficult, right? How did it work out? Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think I've had many difficult times in my startup journey, many existential moments where my companies looked like they wouldn't make it. Which are probably the most difficult. Many tough moments where like great people I really like working with left companies, which are very difficult, or someone who I respected didn't like me for some reason because we disagreed on some business topic or whatever it was. Never easy. I think interpersonal issues or like existential issues are never easy. But it's part of life. It's part of the founder journey. And my life is not that easy, but look at Elon Musk. Like he's like taking a rainbows with me. And like I think there are other founders out there, Sam Altman and stuff like that, who are really taking big swings. And those people inspire me that like, hey, my life isn't that difficult. So I could be doing more difficult things. So
that's kind of interesting because you talk about as you become more mature, become calmer and deal with issues. And also that reminds me of slightly different way of talking about the entrepreneur spirit tend to be more positive. And even look at the challenges. You look at the challenges from a very positive way compared with these great people. Their life may not necessarily be better than yours.
Yeah. I mean, like you sign up for this life, right? You sign up for being a founder. It's not going to be easy, and part of it is the challenge is attractive. You want a more challenging life. When you're an employee in a company, yes, there's less risk, but there's also less challenge, and I would find that pretty boring. So I've signed up for a challenging life. There's going to be lots of ups and downs, and I'll take both of them, when they come.
Very interesting. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. Go ahead, please introduce yourself, and I'll speak a little bit louder.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, super nice to meet you here. My name is Bob, and I graduated from Stanford about 3 or 4 months. 4 months, 5 months ago. Actually.
5 months ago.
A long time. And I'm currently I'm using AI to rebuild Pinterest basically and Tumblr. And one comment I want to make, it's very important, is I'm really, we have all attended a lot of these type of speaker events, and one thing I'm really amazed is that you stress a lot on, talking about how to build a consumer business, which is really talked about by a lot of investors or founders these days. And I really, really appreciate that because in my case, I'm building something that is directly consumer facing and
B2C, right?
B2C, yes. And I want to, just really happy that I hear all these suggestions from you. And one question about that is, about problem seeking, like, we always talk about what is the most pressing problem, like either consumer basis or the B2B company basis, right? Now, one thing I've discovered for consumer is that sometimes consumers don't really understand what they want. Like you could go out and do the interview with them. Sometimes they don't understand like the potential need that actually lies in your human nature, but actually exists. For example, back in 2015, you got asked if you wanted watch short format videos on TikTok. They will say, well, we have YouTube. It's free. It's really good.
It's good in viral need, the access stuff.
Yeah. So I think a lot of the consumer business that is viable has already reached the point that you have, as a founder, you have to get some sort of understanding much more deeper than the consumers themselves understand about themselves. And that leads to a problem, say, when you are describing what is the problem that you are trying to address for these consumers to the investors, how do you actually describe it in a way that is the most effective to let them know? Like, in my case, I'm trying to build something that solves the insufficiency, discrepancy of long-tail contents, supply and demand as for life discoveries. But that's in a sense something that is super easy to describe to an investor. So what would be your strategies in dealing with this type of scenarios?
Yeah, it's very difficult. Most investors, especially nowadays in Silicon Valley, they don't just any consumer idea, will have an uphill climb.
Mhm.
And the way to do it, I think you have to build a demo. You have to have a great demo which shows you cannot describe it in words. I don't think word or a video. You can do a video. And you should have a memo which explains like a long form memo. Elevator pitches won't work.
Yes.
If you have like a memo describing the thesis, and you can point to analogies of like other things that have worked in this space. I also again suggest making as much progress as possible without raising money, so that you can show like what's working and what's not working, and that also helps a lot. The more progress you make by yourself. But in general, consumer businesses, I think, building the old model of like trying to raise money, build up usage like Facebook did, then like get enough usage to run ads. It's very difficult these days. It's like there's just too many companies that have failed, and most investors will be very wary of getting there. So I actually think find a way to monetize, put a paywall somewhere, right, and like try to get consumers to pay for it, that's a very valuable because consumers are a lot more likely to pay these days than 10 years ago. Their consumers are very comfortable nowadays paying for apps and paying for internet products. So that's a big change. I would recommend that model better.
That one.
Go ahead, yeah.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, please.
So Lillian from Clarity House, we're in B2B, and as you mentioned, most of the investors and capital funds are ready for the B2B in Silicon Valley right now. And since you have great success experience in this field, why do you choose to do Tribe like at this stage?
Why I'm doing Tribe?
Yeah,
Which is a B2C, that which is
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Oh, I see, because the anti kind of a main.
And it's
Okay.
aligned with your domain expertise. Why do you choose to do B2C like social apps?
Yeah, well, I like building products for consumers actually, and so I realized about myself that I don't really like selling products to executives. I rather like it's just not that gratifying for me, And I like building products that other consumers can use, and I get more enjoyment that a product that everybody can use, and so I just made a decision that that's something I like to spend my life on is something that my family and friends can use. Everyone in the world, including all of you. You can all sign up for Tribe, and I can send you. I can show you a QR code for a link that you join my podcast group, and you can give me some feedback on Tribe. I enjoy. But if I'm selling a B2B product, I don't know, like building software or something, it's kind of boring. It's not something I want.
So again, goes back to your kind of passion question,
Yeah.
right? That's part of your passion.
That's
And also you're
my
going
passion.
to commission that job because you do believe they are opportunities.
Yes, I believe there's opportunities, and I believe like people would be better off, with a better product. Like the product we're building at Tribe is a shared interest group chat, which the best shared interest group chat platform that's ever been built, which means that you'd be able to find your tribe. All of your interests. You have probably maybe 5 or 6 different interests, or maybe much more. There's people out there who have the same interests as you that you haven't met, that you have a chance to get to know,
That's true.
and you can fully like self-actualize yourself as well when you talk about your interests with other people who have interests.
But that's your vision. Yeah.
That's a group chat for every one of your interests. I think is something that I think I have that, or building that, and I find it really enjoyable. To be able to, when I want to talk about basketball, I can talk about basketball. I want to talk about family company, I can talk about. I want to talk about being a dad. I have 2 kids. I could have a tribe that I talk about, be that. And I wish that for all of you, that you all have, you know, find your tribe, and we all have different tribes for different parts of our lives. It's a great thing. We have that. So we try to make that easy for people to find.
Yeah. And also come back, Apple's your only point. You say many times you start with yourself.
Yeah.
You're not the first user.
Yeah.
And you like it, and okay.
Yeah.
Please, yeah.
We like second time consumer founders and do it out of plans, like have goal positions to like gathering, like together, like streaming for passers, everything like that. Couple million users and ARs, and but currently, you know, we're still believing like network effect, like all this all and like mobile internet like stories. But currently, you know, everybody there's market clouds that everybody's talking about AI. But I found that like I'm not sure it is the right time for us to build an AI product for B2C, because like everybody knows that C.AI, like people paying the monthly subscription fee, right? But like the product works better, like the more like time that user put it in into the product, like the more inference cost like the company should pay, right? But, it means that like the more the product is more engaging, like the company can lose a lot of money, because like, you know, like you're like just human computer interaction, like people don't want to pay that much, only monthly subscription fee. So I'm not sure if is there any like good angle that you're thinking about like integration AI, which I thought previously it's just not the right time.
Well, it's a good question. Look, I think AI has cost, but you have to pass those costs on to the consumer. Like consumers need to pay for it somehow. And I do believe that for great products, consumers are willing to pay. You know, so you deliver a good product that really adds value. Don't be afraid of putting up a paywall somewhere, and you know, you find out where are the parts like the, you know, maybe it's a free product for most people, but you use the AI services, you got to pay, and you're making good profit on those AI.
But you know, like for the last generation of like the consumer product, like Facebook, like people don't have to pay for using it, but they can monetize through.
So in other words, you're saying they get used to the free product.
Yeah, but I believe consumers are more used to pay for things now, and you have to market it well, package it well. But like, just because Facebook is free doesn't mean that like consumers are used to having free stuff all over the place.
Well, like, do you think there is opportunity that people can still building like a product exceeding maybe 100 million DAU?
I don't know. You know, of course, I believe there's a possibility. It'd be crazy for anyone to say that there was no possibility. It hasn't happened recently, but it doesn't matter. But, you know, that's what our job is as founders, of figuring it out.
Cool.
Yeah.
But you know, actually, just to echo your point, you know, I know Sunny Betty, who was the CTO, CDO of Snowflake. And I'm not sure you know this company. Snowflake is just that their whole premise of the business model is to anti-subscription model, because in the software, subscription is such a mainstream business model. But the company come out and say, no, we're going to change the way we charge customers by usage.
Yeah.
So you don't have to fix the fee, you pay by usage. And the company was very successful. So that means, it's going back to your point, there is a mainstream, but there's opportunity.
Yeah, exactly. I think there's a lot of opportunity. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.